Hey guys, I wanted to let you know that I'm still editing the third part of the Reilly Head Abstraction series, and I'm realizing I'm probably going to need to break it into two parts. The first part being where I draw over the photograph, and then the fourth part will be the actual portrait, because I don't want to put out like a video that's like an hour long. Um, I don't know how many people want longer videos. Maybe you do. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you like longer videos or shorter videos. Another reason I kind of want to keep smaller files. My internet where I live isn't very good. It's not dial-up or anything like that, but I live in rural Wisconsin, so your choices for internet are pretty limited as soon as the cornfields begin. So it's not really worth it for the uh, internet providers to like run lines out to areas where there's like houses are like mile apart, and so I mean it depends. Like where I live, there's like maybe in this immediate vicinity, maybe like five, three, no, like four houses. So I get why they're not running it out here. So I don't even really have any other options right now for internet. This is pretty much the best I can do, which is fine. So I wanted to do kind of like software reviews and things like that. And I was thinking, well, I'm drawing this image anyway because I do little studies or whatever every day. You should always draw. And I decided to turn on my screen recording software. I'm about 10 minutes into this drawing, so not very far. And I decided, well, I'm going to turn on my screen recording software and just maybe talk to you guys about some of the tools I use. So I want to talk today about a program called Clip Studio Paint. And this isn't going to be like an in-depth review or tutorial or anything, but just my thoughts on it. And I really like it. It's become my primary program that I use the last 6 months or so. And I bought it. It was on sale. It was about $100. I got the extended version. Um, I'll show you guys down here. I actually opened this up ahead of time. So here's the version I got, and right now it's $210, which is pretty expensive, but it's always going on sale. And the other version is only $50, and the difference between them, so far as I can tell, is that the version I have allows you to keep multiple pages in one file for like comic book artists and stuff. Um, but other than that, I can't really tell a difference. And had I known that, I probably would have just gotten the regular version myself because it's a great deal. But I mean, I'm not complaining. The $100 for the program, the version I got, it's still well worth it. It's a great program. And so, an interesting thing about this program is it used to be called Manga Studio, and I guess that was a branding decision because it's sold in the US by Smith Micro, and the company that makes it is a Japanese company. And I think they were trying to target a certain demographic by branding it with the manga label. And I actually think that was an unfortunate decision on their part because they were very heavily marketing to a certain demographic. And because of that, I think a lot of people that aren't really into the whole manga or anime thing uh, kind of ignored it, and I conclude myself in that because I'm not really an anime guy. It's not really my style. I don't dislike it. I don't have anything against it. I think some of it's beautiful, but it's not my thing. So, I mean, for me, having something out there called Manga Studio is like, I'm probably not even going to look any further into it than that, which is a failure on my part because it's a great program. But I think it's a good move that they've now gone back to the original name. I don't know if that's why they did or they just wanted less confusion, but either way, it's a great program. And here's a tool I really like, the Lasso Fill. And what's really good about the Lasso Fill is, you know how in other software, when you create a selection, if you want to fill it, you would have to either use the paint bucket tool or you would have to hit like Command Delete or Control Delete if you're on a PC. I use a Mac, so if I say Command, it's Control on Windows. I'm pretty sure. So the lasso fill has the fill part built into the lasso, like the name implies. So as soon as I create that selection, uh, it will automatically fill it with whatever color I currently have selected at whatever opacity I have selected. So I have it at like 30% opacity, and I'm using it to block in the shadow shapes that I've kind of mapped out in the lay-in phase. And I know that that tool is probably very handy for like comic book people who do like color flatting, but even if you don't do that style, it's still a very useful tool and it's a big time saver. And I use it all the time for doing these little like quick portrait studies where I'm just trying to um, I'm trying to study. I'm not really worried about how it's going to turn out so much. I'm just kind of practicing. And that's actually another reason I wanted to do a video today, um, doing this because, like I said, I'm editing that third part, and since I'm going to break it up and have the next part be the drawing over the photograph and finding the rhythms of the Reilly abstraction on a photo, I was thinking, well, that's going to be 3 videos in a row where you guys aren't actually seeing me draw anything. And, I'm not famous or anything like that. So I was thinking, like, oh, for all these people know, I actually don't even know how to draw, which I was like, I kind of got to remedy that a bit. So part of my motivation for doing this and having something in between these videos, which, the third part of that Reilly uh, series will be coming out this week as well. But I wanted to do something to show, that I am at least competent. I appreciate that people were subscribing to me even just based on my previous videos. I mean, maybe it was like, well, this guy sounds confident. I mean, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about, which don't get me wrong, I really appreciate, and I appreciate all of the support that I've gotten. But maybe it's my own paranoia, but I feel like, well, I probably need to put something out there to where you guys can see, like, okay, this guy's not completely full of it. Maybe you'll have that opinion after watching this video, though. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. So another cool thing I like in this software is you can actually map your brushes to a hotkey. Now, I know you can do mapping your tools to hotkeys in other programs, but you can map like a specific brush to a hotkey. So, as you can see here, I've got my pencil to like number 1 on my keypad. I've got my a pastel rake to number 2. Number 4 is that lasso fill because I use that quite a bit. And I really like being able to just have them assigned to numbers on the keypad. And it's a big time saver to get to my specific tool. So now I'm going to show you some of the tools I use. That's my pencil right here. It's kind of a modified pencil. I've got like tilt on it. Um, and here's a pastel rake, and I use that for doing these quick sketches for like cross hatching and stuff like that rather than having to do that manually. Um, and I actually bought that. Oh, here's a palette knife. And the cool thing about this program is it has actual paint blending, which, before, I mean, at one point in time, Corel Painter was the only software that really offered that. And now you can do that with a lot of other pieces of software. And this program does it very, very well. And the brush engine on this program is very deep. And my one complaint about the software would be that when you first use it, the default brushes are very limited. And I honestly think you have more default brushes in Photoshop, which is a photo manipulation tool. You have more default brushes in Photoshop than something for art. And that's a shame because I feel like you don't really get a taste for what the brush engine is really capable of. So here I'm going to use an airbrush quick, and I'm just going to throw in some core shadow there where I've got the edge of my shadow map. But so I bought the Daub brush pack, DAUB, and it's really good. If you're gonna buy the program, or if you already have it, I really recommend buying that guy's mega pack. I think it's like $15, but it's really worth it. And the reason I'd recommend it is for two reasons. Number one is it does a really great job of simulating like natural media if you're used to coming from a traditional background. There's a lot of awesome, like you've got gouache, oil, chalk, all this kind of stuff, and it really gives you that feel. And the other reason would be um, that it really helps you to understand the brush engine. So if you want to create your own brushes and things like that, you can kind of get a large pack with a bunch of variety and play around with them and see which ones give you the effects that you like, and then open up the brush options and then look and see which sliders give that brush that behavior. And I think that gets you a lot further to understanding how to create your own brushes. And you can kind of reverse engineer, I guess, is what I'm saying. And that's what I've done. So you'll also notice this is not about the program, but just in general, I zoom out much more than I zoom in. And even if I'm doing like areas like here with the eyes and things like that, don't zoom way in. That's a mistake I made when I first started doing digital, and it really doesn't help you. And you'll hear a lot of people harp on that, and there's a good reason. Don't zoom way in. It just doesn't benefit you. You don't work that way traditionally. You don't stick your eye up on your canvas, when you're working. So here I'm just putting in some cross hatching, and I'm kind of mixing styles because, again, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of practicing. And, if I was taking this to a finish, I wouldn't have like an airbrush on one side and then cross hatching on another, or, well, hatching. It's not really cross hatching. But um, I would pick a direction and go in it. But I'm just trying to show you some of the tools I like to use. So we'll see. This might turn out terrible. I don't know. Here what I'm doing is I've got like a modified that pastel rake, and I've modified it into a serrated smudge tool. And that's like if you take an eraser in real life and you cut little like grooves into it, like the teeth on a comb, you can use that to give you a certain effect when you're drawing, like with charcoal or something like that. You can smudge it over, and I saw Glenn Vilppu do that technique one time, and I liked it so much I kind of stole it, and then I try to create a tool that can do that digitally. And so I'm gonna do that right now. Like I'm pulling over from that core shadow, and I'm just pulling off to the side there. And I like that. It's kind of messy, it kind of gives you a cool look. I kind of like the variation in the shadow side. It almost gives you the effect of a little bit of bounce light coming back up onto the shadow side. And I just like it. And again, if I was intending to make this a pretty picture where I was taking it to a finish, I would have kind of decided what look I was going for. Like right now, I'm just throwing in some quick light with an airbrush, which it's again, you wouldn't want to mix these things as much as I am if you were trying to make a drawing that looked consistent. But I'm just kind of practicing. This is just a quick sketch. And, like I said before, I mean, this is all in real time. It's not sped up. Um, Not that it's going to be anything impressive. I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. I have no idea. But really, I'm just more trying to show you guys some stuff and how I go about doing little sketches, and not sure how far I'm going to end up taking it. Probably not very far. It's probably just going to, I'm just kind of practicing a face. I'm not even going to worry too much about that jacket that he's wearing. I don't know that that matters. And I'm just trying to get what I need to get out of it, and then, move on and work on something else. And that's an important thing. Don't think that everything you draw has to turn out to be this amazing thing. A lot of times finishing something is the easiest part, and you can pour hours and hours into something, um, but starting something a lot of times is much harder in art, which is weird because it's almost backwards. But you need to get into the habit of just like, okay, I can draw this for a bit, get what I need out of it, whatever. I don't care if this sits here forever like this. And just doing a bunch of drawings like that, it really helps you to get to improve. Because like, I could spend like 4 days rendering out a perfect face, right? But if I spend like, a half hour doing a face, and then a half hour the next day doing a face, and then, well, by the end of a week, who's got more practice drawing a face, right? I mean, it's, and don't worry about like how fast you're drawing. Um, again, this is real time, but I, like, I've been told by some people that I draw fast, but I don't know. I don't really know if I do. Um, I will say that that was never my intention. I never focused on trying to draw fast. I just focused on trying to do what I needed to do. And then if I happen to be fast, it's because I have a lot of mileage in trying to do it well, not with the speed. And then the speed kind of comes after. It comes naturally. It's not something that you think about. Like I don't think about it at all. I'm just working at my normal pace. Um, and so now I'm just re-smudging that a little bit. Um, and I'm probably gonna end the video pretty soon. I don't. At this point, I'm just kind of messing around. I don't really know. I mean, for the most part, I'm relatively happy with the face. Yeah, see, there's where we started, and so all in all, probably considering the other stuff I was doing and showing you guys stuff, this may be like a half hour total, including the 10 minutes before I started. So, I don't know, just I'm relatively satisfied with it as far as just quick little head study. It's fine. It's not perfect. It's it's a warm up, and that's what you should use warm ups for. Is don't get too crazy with it. I'm just darkening that core shadow a bit. Um, But yeah, maybe in the future, if you guys want, I would do like a more of a longer tutorial on how to use the software. I haven't been using it as long as some people have, so I might not be like the expert that you would really want a tutorial from. But I could show you how I use it, and if that's something you'd be interested in, I might do that. So here's the where we started, and then that's where I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say that's fine for now. That's just a warm up. But yeah, I don't work for Smith Micro or Dobb, or I don't even know the guy, but I'm just kind of giving you my recommendations on what I enjoy, and I think it's good. I think it's a good piece of software, and I think he has a very good brush pack. And I kind of just wanted to make a quick little video that would be more casual while I'm editing the other one. I'll get that out in the next few days, and just I wanted to have something kind of in the interim that is, like I said, like, well, for all you guys know, I don't know how to draw at all. And I mean, maybe you're looking at your screen right now and going, well, you still don't. But um, but that's fine. I mean, I'd rather you guys at least see, I guess, you know, that what I can do and make up your own mind. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll have that third part up in the next few days. All right, thank you.